In this video, we are going to take a look at solving a quadratic equation by using a quadratic formula. The equation we're trying to solve is 3x squared minus x minus 1 equals 0. In case of a quadratic formula, you need to make sure that all the terms are on the left-hand side and 0 is on the right-hand side. So there is anything here that's not 0, it has to be moved to the left-hand side. Now we can figure out what are the coefficients a, b, and c. A is the coefficient of x squared, which is 3. B is the coefficient of x. In this case, I see a negative, so I can just put a negative. So generally, that would be -1. And then c is the coefficient, well, just a number, so that's a constant. So that's also -1 in this case. Let me put that in here. So 3, -1, and then -1. Now I need to solve it by quadratic formula. You will have a formula sheet on the test, and quadratic formula is right here. All right, so you can copy that to your paper. The way this works is minus b plus minus square root of something called discriminant, which is b squared minus 4ac, and then you are dividing that by 2a. Now, important to point out that a lot of how the solution is going to look like depends on this discriminant, which is the expression under the square root. If the discriminant is positive, you're going to get two solutions. If it is a perfect square, then the two solutions are going to be usually rational. So you'll have either a fraction or an integer for both of your answers. If the discriminant is positive but not a perfect square, you're going to get an irrational solution, something that has like square root of 5 or square root of 3, something like that in there. If the discriminant is 0, then you will only get one solution, which is negative b divided by 2a. Finally, if the discriminant is negative, then you get imaginary solutions. Let's take a look at what happens here. So first I will figure out the discriminant, we call it d, and that is b squared minus 4ac. When you plug in things, make sure that you put them in parentheses. Instead of b, I'm going to put -1 in parentheses. Minus 4 times 8 times c. Times 8 times c. Okay, let me compute that in Desmos. And make sure you're keeping the parentheses the way they are. Okay, so my discriminant is 13. I can see that it is positive, but it's not a perfect square, like 4 or 9 or 25. That means I'm going to have real roots, two solutions, but they will be irrational, okay? So let me just substitute everything here. So my b is -1. Then this is going to be b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. Okay, so let's go ahead and compute our two solutions. So we take minus b, so minus, but b was -1, plus minus, I'm going to take the one with the plus first, square root of the discriminant, which I just found, that's 13, divide that by 2a, a was 3. Okay, so negative and negative will give me a positive, 1 plus square root of 13. And on the bottom, I get 2 multiplied by 3, that is 6. That is my first solution. So how do I type it? I'm going to press on the division. Then I'm going to do 1 plus square root of 13 divided by 6. That's my first solution. Then I'm going to put a comma, and I will not write it, but the other solution is exactly the same. I'm just going to type it, but it's going to have a negative in front of the discriminant. So those are my two solutions. Let's submit and see if I got this right. Yep.